Wait, let's say our pronouns real quick. I'm a he.
I'm a starfish. You and I are sick.
You walked into a lion's den.
You wouldn't know that it was human meat until they said to you, human carpaccio.
When I think about eating people, not only do I think about how they would taste, but I also like to think about their personality.
Walked into a lion's den.
Just call me my guy and we're good.
Yeah, call me my dude. That's it. You sound like the dumbest robot made.
I am the dumbest robot.
Thank you for listening to Splittin Hairs. On this podcast, you're gonna learn about yourself. I'm Ashlynn Salzano.
My name is Chris Metcalf.
We're all lizard people anyway. Hello, welcome to our podcast. If you've never listened to us before, I want to let you know that we are both Christians.
We believe in the one true Lord, the Trinity, the Holy Spirit. What are the? Do you know the three?
The Holy Spirit, the Holy Water, and the Holy Bible.
Your whoever Christian ancestors are rolling in their graves. Carol would be so disappointed in you. The Holy Trinity is the Holy Spirit,
The Holy Donut.
Jesus. I think God. Now I forget. Holy Trinity.
Oh, okay.
Let's look
You
it up.
see, at least
I got all tripped up.
At least I was being funny. You were trying to be serious.
It's Holy Spirit. The
Trinity.
Trinity. Holy Spirit, Jesus, and God. The Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's it.
Isn't it like the Deathly Hallows in Harry Potter?
What's that?
It's the invisible cloak. It's the elderly wand or the elder wand. Harry Potter fans are like, we fucked up two
groups.
Yeah.
Two groups are very upset with us.
The religious of God and the religious of Harry Potter. Okay, the Trinity is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. So God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit's a weird one because every time I saw pictures of it when I was younger, it was just like a flame.
The what? The what?
The Holy Spirit.
Oh, isn't it this?
Like Google image. Yeah, but like what is a Holy Spirit? You know, like Google like Holy Spirit images. It's like it's always like a flame over like a lamp, or it's like just the weird. Yeah, it's like this. It's never like.
It's just light. It's just light.
Yeah, see,
it's
look,
light.
Like what that? Like what's that? That's just like a.
It's light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, clear definitions from the Catholics.
I mean,
Catholics.
Clearly, they don't know. You know,
Well, they don't know.
Yeah,
it's the word. It's the way of the Lord.
Yeah. I had a conversation with Kate recently, and I was like, and I don't like to like fuck with people's religion, but I'm like, if anyone, like, we still believe in Jesus, but if anyone on this earth right now was like, I'm pregnant with God's baby, we'd all be like, shut the fuck up.
The fuck
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like we believe in this, but we're like, no, it only happened once.
There was a dude in Australia.
Who was pregnant?
There was a dude in Australia who was like claiming to be Jesus, and like some people were buying into it. Yeah. And he like kind of had like a Jesus look. And he was like, yeah, mate, I'm fucking Jesus. I mean, he didn't say fucking probably, but you know what I mean.
But where does that, where do we separate the cult, right? Because that could just be someone trying to be a cult leader.
Right.
Like, but no one believes him, right? Like, you can ask the most religious people and they'd be like, that ain't fucking Jesus.
I think Jesus needs to come back as like an NFT or like a virus, like something that we can like, not like a pandemic virus, but just, or maybe that's a good way, Jesus is inside of you. You are infected with Jesus.
I think Jesus needs to come back ASAP. I think he left this car running and the people in it aren't doing so well.
Well, I think when Jesus returns, that's when the apocalypse happens. I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
it's like Jesus. I think like the comic book goes, the Bible series go how it
DC
goes.
DC series of Jesus.
How it goes.
Marvel.
He kind of when he makes his big return.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is gonna be Jesus.
They're gonna be like basically he's gonna judge us on his white horse and be like, you heaven, you go to heaven, you go to heaven, and the rest of you will burn in the fiery pits of hell.
That's what my aunt, who's Pentecostal, always says. You better ask Jesus for forgiveness. He's coming.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, so I'll ask him for forgiveness when I see him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll talk to him. Like, I have this thing that like God knows me, and I'm like.
Similar to like I feel like you're giving off the same alien vibe. You're like, I'm be cool when I get up there. What's up, bro?
But I also said God knows me like he doesn't know anyone else, right? Like me and God, like not like if I pray, I'm like I'll say this first before I pray. I'm like, all right, you know it's serious because I don't come to you for everything.
You know what I mean? You were saying that. It is funny how people always think that like God is listening just to them. Like even when we say like God bless America, right? And you're just like, okay, I mean God bless America. You know, when they do it like in an army context, you're like, fuck the enemy, God bless America. And you're just like, yeah, but like God made them too, according to your doctrine. So like God probably blesses them too.
Right. Yes.
It would be funny if you're doing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But no, I agree. But the way I see it, when like God is listening to prayers, is I feel like he gets all these like text messages, like bubbles, and he's like, "Oh, my favorites." Like he's got like favorites and pins and like all of that shit. So that's why I say that to him. That's why I go, "It's me," and he goes, "Oh, Ashlynn. It must be serious." That's how I feel like he looks at my prayers.
Yeah, one of my special ones is reaching out. Yeah.
But what were you saying? Yeah, that's so...
he gets a different ringtone. You have a unique special ringtone for your bubble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's booty, 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 rocking everywhere.
Yeah. He's got to know. That one's got to stand out more so he can be like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's going off.
And it's so aggressive.
Yeah.
Booty, booty, booty. You're like, wow, you're like so distracted.
Rocking everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah. Oh, what I was going to say, if you're doing it'd be funny, like, you get like progressive with your prayers.
What would be your ringtone?
What do you mean? Oh, if God wanted to know that it was me, it's Britney, bitch. Dun, dun, dun. I don't even know how that song goes, but yeah, that one. Or like a hit me, baby, one more time, something like that.
Hit me, and then you just keep on praying to him because you're always in trouble. Yeah. So he's like, hit me, hit me, hit me, hit me, hit me.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, or yeah. When he gets a voicemail from me, he just hears like, "Oh yeah," just like that,
back to back.
Yeah.
One of your dark nights. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's like skipping or like CD skips.
I wonder if by that logic, like when you're doing something, like when you like smash your finger in a door, you're like, God fucking damn it, what the fuck, God, motherfuck, God, shit. Jesus Christ. Like, he's getting, like, lit up with pings.
Yeah. He's, like, trying to take a nap, and you're just like, he's like, what's wrong?
And you're getting the messages, it just says, fuck, God,
fuck me, fuck your mother, fuck.
Now I'm starting to understand the saying God in God's name in vain thing.
Yeah, you don't want to use it up. You don't want to be...
He's hearing all the time, you're like, God damn, fuck. Yeah.
He's like, this person again needs my help. I mean,
he must be putting us on vibrate sometimes.
Yo,
oh Jesus, she's probably just falling.
Do not disturb.
She's probably falling down.
He invented do not disturb, and then like gave it out to us. He was like, you guys need this. You guys, the way you're roaming around, you need this.
I think Chris's parents are back from Australia. Yeah, he's hanging out with them. I'm just gonna.
He's safe for now.
I'm just gonna go airplane mode. He doesn't need me.
Right?
Yeah.
Checks in on you. I haven't heard from Chris in a while. Yeah. I hope he's okay. Checks in on me. I'm like fucking deep into like 7-hour video games. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, he's sending like next to you is like a hologram of like the Virgin Mary next to you, but you're like, fuck you, bitch, like doing your like in the game zone here, and you're not even like seeing it. You just like miss it because like you're so like locked in.
Oh, she's right next to me.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that my grandmother had a statue of the Virgin Mary. Okay. And it was in this house till like 2 years ago.
What happened?
Yeah, my sister took it. She moved to Florida, and she was like, my sister was very close to my grandmother, and she moved to Florida and wanted to take the Virgin Mary because, you know, she's taking a little bit of my grandmother with her, right? And I was like, means nothing to me. Right. It's just a fucking statue. Like someone made this.
Yeah.
But it's more sentimental to my sister.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
It was like missing a hand at one point. It had like the snake wrapped around her feet
that one,
with the apple. And like she was standing there and stuff like that.
Stomping on evil.
Yeah.
The serpent, the devil. I think my grandmother had like, you know, like when you go into church and there's like the little cup where you could like put your fingers in with the holy water.
Yeah.
She'd have that like in the bedrooms.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
My
shit?
grandmother used to have it like on the side.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, in bottles. Yeah.
Oh, like in little vials? Just a little.
It's a little tap, tap.
Tap.
You wake up in the morning, you bless yourself. Tap,
Yeah.
tap.
You never know when you're gonna
It's
need
like-
to do a last minute
it's like-
exorcism.
It's like the religious soldier boy. Woke up on my bed, turn my holy water on. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
Which is dope. That's how everyone should start their morning.
Yeah.
Unlike us. Our topic for today is theory.
Theory.
Theory. I mentioned last episode, I mentioned this to Chris, and he was like, yo, you need to well, we'll talk about this later right here too. He was like, yo, you need to talk about it like on the podcast, like my theory that I have. But when I said like, oh, we're gonna talk about theory this week, you were like, well, what do you mean? And
Yeah,
I
because
was
you
like,
just text me
Yeah.
and you just go, I think this week on the episode we should talk about theories. It was like as plain as that, and I was like, what does that mean?
What about?
like what about
yeah,
them? What
just
about
theories?
Yeah.
Well, then what did we both do without even noticing that we both did it? What did we do? We looked up the definition because what is a theory, right?
Right.
What did I tell you? It's just ideas, right?
Yeah, you're like, it's just anything, you know,
yeah,
whatever you're
it's
thinking.
anything, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the definition of theory right here. A theory is a rational type of abstract thinking about a phenomenon or the results of such thinking. The process of contemplative and rational thinking is often associated with such processes as observational study or research. Theories may either be scientific or other than scientific. So it's a thought. A theory is a thought. And
Pretty
when Chris
much.
and I were talking, we were like, don't you hate when a definition, like you look for a definition and it gives you words that you need to look up? You're like, okay,
Yeah.
so what is contemplative? All right, Google, what is contemplative? Like, you gotta like look all these things up. I told you, I'm like, I'm about to like Urban Dictionary this shit.
Yeah, I first looked up like scientific theory, which is like way more fucking complicated because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, you know, doing a series of experiments and like the collective view to agree that this is the most highest probability of something, because it's like basically like the closest thing to a fact without being proven.
Yeah.
But then I was like, yeah, same thing. I was like, I need to dumb mine down. But then I also forgot there's another type of theory that's a fun one, conspiracy theory, which again, on the broader spectrum, it's really just, again,
Well, there's a bunch of, there's like behavioral theory. There is what is it? Social theory. Like there's like a bunch of theories, and so it's basically anything.
right.
It's
Yeah.
basically anything.
Whatever you want it to be.
But you say a sentence, put a sentence together. That's a theory.
Hey, hey.
That is a theory. But I have, I guess, what would be a social or behavioral theory.
Ooh, okay.
My Rubberband theory, right? Like we've talked about
Oh, right.
this.
Yes.
I always say that like society can only stretch so far before we come back to like not our roots, sort of say, but like more of like our beginning, like exactly where we were. Does that make sense?
Yes, I agree.
Like, you know, like for example, right? Like when I was in high school, right? Like Jordans were in, and then like skinny jeans, and then all of a sudden, like I don't know, like during 10th grade, maybe 11th, the 80s came back.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if that's for everyone or it was just in my school or like just in New York, because it was definitely in New York. But like the 80s came back and it was like colorful pants and all of that shit. And then we go back to skinny jeans, and now we're into like mom jeans with crop tops. It's like,
Yeah.
it reminds me of TLC.
Well, right. It's going to be 90s.
Right,
It's
exactly.
going to be the next. Right.
Yeah, so I always feel like we go back.
Right.
And it's like funny because I recently saw Kate's cousin Andy, and we saw him and he was wearing cargo shorts with like a vest and then like a button down shirt.
Yeah.
And we were like, dude, what's up with the cargo pants and shorts? And he's like, well, I'm just gonna wait for them to come back in style. I'm not gonna change anything.
Well, he's not too far off. I mean, I've seen on like TikTok like these like cringe videos I watch where these like, I don't know, these kids got to be in like, I'm guessing they're either like freshmen or sophomores in college-ish age, give or take. Bro, and clearly they live in like LA or something like that, but they look like Jonathan Taylor Thomas and like how he would dress with like a vest
Yeah.
and this like dated chain, but that's I guess cool now, but that's like the shit when I was younger, it's like, oh, you dress like your new kids on the block. Like,
Yeah.
not that even that I was into them, but that's like what was cool.
Yeah.
So, and then now I got older, I'm like, that shit's dumb as hell. And like now, I mean, I dress like a cop, so, but whatever, but.
And what's funny is that I feel like there's a lot of groups that still dress like that, right? Like there's still like a lot of dudes that like dress like skater dudes or girls, skater girls, or like emo kids. Like remember when like rock was like the Vans were in, and then like the chain that goes on your pants was in, like all of that started coming in too. It's like there's still people that dress like that, and then when the world like tries to use it as a trend, I know they're like, are you fucking kidding me?
I've been doing
this.
I've
This
been
is part
doing
of my
this.
personality, motherfucker. You know, it's just like so interesting that like no matter what, like certain things go away, but there's like certain people that like stay with that style.
Right.
And then like I feel like the majority of the world doesn't have a style. They just hop around.
I definitely went through phases of styles.
Yeah,
like I
same.
went through like my punk phase, like
Yeah.
where I thought like I would wear a lot of
Makeup.
No, I
Like-
didn't wear makeup, but I would go to these like punk shows and shit. But like I wouldn't dress like this like all the time. It depends. With my punk friends, I would. You know what I mean? I was such like a fucking. You know what I mean?
gave in. Yeah.
Well, there was like certain things. Like I would always rock like the big belt buckle. Like I had like
Yeah.
a big belt buckle, and I would always buy like T-shirts at like the Salvation Army. That they were like these cool like weird vintage baseball shirts or
Yeah.
like band shirts or whatever. Like, but they were like always like too small on me. Like I should have gotten. Like I just thought that was, and I would wear like sweatbands like on my wrists.
Oh,
you know, like I was in like I thought I was in like
You were
some
deep.
41.
You
Yeah.
were deep into it.
Yeah, and I would wear like Dickie shorts.
Yeah.
had
I
the
remember that
Dickies.
shit. Yeah.
I never rocked the chain wallet.
I thought I took it too far when I did the chain wallet.
Yeah.
I said we gotta stop.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it wasn't like a wallet. It just went from like one hook to another.
It was just a look.
Yeah.
It's like doing the, it's like having the do-rag without doing the hairstyle. You just have the, it's like because I think the original point of the chain
or
wallet.
like without the waves. Like
Yes, yeah.
Someone takes off their do-rag.
And it's just normal hair without the waves. It's like having the chain without the wallet at the end
yeah,
of it.
that's
you know?
exactly what I was doing.
Well, how about those people, like the ones who like really commit and like you see them now and they have the huge pants and then like mad chains, just you hear them like jingling and jangling like coming
You're like-
down. That's
you're-
just like, so heavy.
You're like, is it a punk kid or a janitor? You know,
Yeah, what's
like
your-
you don't
yeah.
know who's coming down the hall.
yeah. And they're like, neither. I'm anime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if you like, I don't know, it's just my theory, even if you think about sex too, like we go through this period of time where like sex is like, oh no, like promiscuous, blah, blah, blah. And then we like love fluidly and then we go back. And I was thinking about it like, you know, you think about like the 70s and the 80s, the mid 80s. And like, I guess you can blame it on AIDS maybe. That's why it got, you know, like kind of not, I don't want to say like strict. It just kind of got like maybe people got scared and was like being careful and just wasn't having sex with everyone. You know, 'cause
Well,
there
that was
so-
a big scare. Even heterosexual people at the time were like terrified to have sex because they were like, oh, AIDS. Everyone's gonna get
right.
AIDS.
So maybe that's why, like, because I was gonna say growing up for me, like, I like sex was like you don't have sex unless you're in a relationship, and you don't have sex unless you love someone. And like, and I get it. I was younger, but even in my 20s, it was like that. And now I feel like everyone's like, yeah, we're all banging. I feel like Tinder
Right.
kind of helped, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, there was like a sex positivity movement where it was like the
Right.
anti slut shaming
yeah.
and like, and then it's almost like taking back the word, you
Yeah.
know, that kind of like movement. And I feel like even that now is like kind of dead, to be honest with you. Now it's like it's not hated on, but it's almost like we've been done that. You know what I mean?
Maybe like the sex positivity talk, all of that, but I feel like girls, you know, this is from like a woman's perspective. I feel like women are more like confident and like are like, yeah, I love to fuck. You know what I
Right, yeah,
mean?
yeah.
As opposed to like before, it was just like a woman does not talk like that. But then we went through like the 70s and where they did talk like that.
Right.
I mean, you know, it was different, but it kind of feels like. I would love to see in a couple of years if we go back to being like very strict and very like, no, I don't know if I'm wrong. I don't know. This is all my perspective also.
I think it could.
This is all on my Rubberband theory, which is a thought.
Right.
So it's right.
Keeping it.
Yeah.
Well, with the Rubberband theory, I think it will snap back, right? Because I think I think like the new movement now, it's like the sex positivity thing, like you said, it's like so standard now. Like for women, for most women, it's just like, well, duh, right? Like especially here in New York. And I think like now there's people that are, it's beyond having, there's people who are non-binary and transgender and like all these things. It's like it's so much more now going on. And I know those things like aren't about like having sex, but I think that
they're not about sexuality, they're about gender.
Right, but it's like they're not directly related, but there's some correlation to it, and the conversation's not about how much sex you're having or who you're having sex with. It's just about like, who am I?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say it's like kind of funny. Like we grew up where it was just like, yeah, we fuck, and now look how progressive we are because we fuck a lot. And it's just like all the younger people are like, ew, who cares that you fuck a lot?
Yeah.
I'm whoever. I am this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it doesn't matter who I do and don't fuck.
But I feel like they have an open mind, right? Like I feel like in high school we were still slut shaming. At least in my high school.
Yeah.
I feel like we were slut shaming,
but it feels.
So I feel like now that doesn't happen. Like I feel like if a girl in high school, and I don't know, I'm not in high school. Like I can't.
Right.
You know when you think something's happening and it's not, right?
Yeah.
Like you with this friendship.
Yeah.
No, but you know when you think like something's happening and it's not. So I don't know if that's the truth, but from what I see, I can't see them slut shaming. Because I feel like everyone's like, we don't do that, bro.
We don't do that,
but we did that in our high school. So it's like interesting for me to see the progression and like wonder if we're coming back. And like to what you said, it's like they don't give a fuck anymore, like about how many they fucking. They're like care about themselves. So will that bring the rubber band back?
Right, but don't you think that there's this sort of whatever? Don't you think there's this sort of like Disney Channel vibe to it all, where there's like we can talk about gender and what gender I am, but like to talk about sex is sort of like it feels taboo to talk about. Like anybody that I know who's trans or queer or non-binary, like it feels like, and not that I'm like walking around with like cis straight people talking about sex all the time, but it would feel twice as taboo to even like talk about that. Like it's I don't know, maybe because again it's not about sex, but then it.
But I mean, why are you talking to them about sex?
I guess I'm thinking from a comedy. I guess I'm thinking from like a comedy's perspective. So maybe that's not on a street level. I guess so. That's a little.
I don't know what I think you went on your own conversation in your head. This is the problem with theories.
Right.
Is that it makes you think too much.
I just think to bring it back to your theory. At the end of the day, I do think it's going to snap back in this weird way. I think it's gonna. I feel like. The people like at that show we did recently, like the very progressive people, young people right now, there feels like a certain odd conservativeness to them despite being so liberal and open-minded. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like there is
I don't think so. I think it's just I don't think like here's the thing. I think sometimes, like, when you're talking about, like, trans and queer and non-binary, I think sometimes when we want to talk to them about sex, it's just, like, to them, they're like, you know, it's like asking a Spanish person, like, so do you eat tacos every night? You know, like, it kind of feels like that. Like, it kind of feels like, why are you asking? Like, are you interested? Because if not, like, would you walk up to a straight dude at a bar and be like, so sex, right? Like, you do it? Like, you know what I mean? You wouldn't. So why would you walk up to a trans or a queer person or a non-binary? If I'm understanding what you're saying.
Well, I just mean, I guess, like, in the ethosphere of, like, the things I see on, like, the internet. But you probably
would go up to a straight guy and be like, sex, you do it.
Yeah, I mean, I was also kind of thinking that, too. It's like, I've said crazier things to straight people but yeah.
But would you go up to a straight man and say that? Like, a straight man in a bar, you know?
Sure. I guess maybe the difference would be is, do you like if let's say I said the same thing to two different people and one of them was like a straight dude at a bar and the other person was
because I think we're splitting hairs here.
Okay.
I think we're finally doing what our podcast said we do. So when you're talking about like okay, when you're talking about this new generation being conservative towards sex,
Correct.
I think you're talking about how much they talk about it. And what I'm talking about is their freedom to have it or let other people have it.
Sure.
So you get what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
think they're conservative, like, as to talking, like,
Yes.
But okay, so I thought we were talking about them having sex, enjoying sex, and not slut shaming. That's the route I was going, and you're talking about the way they talk about it.
Right.
Well, yeah, well, I think they're just done talking about it, right? Like, we talk about sex so much. It's everywhere. Before us growing up, we didn't have that, I think.
Right.
You know what I mean? Remember when we used to have to watch porn, like, through the cable?
The scrambly, the scramble porn. You're like, that's a titty. That's a titty. And you're like, stay. Yeah.
It's like blue and green, red and green.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah. Oh, then like
You're like, there's a nipple. That's a fucking nipple.
You know what happened to me one time? I was watching it. It was like scrambly, and I thought it would. I saw that. I was like, oh, this is like a tit. Look at this tit.
Yeah.
And then it like scrambled and like revealed more, and it was just a dude's peck. And I was sitting there like, yeah. And it's like all distorted because I thought it was a titty.
And it was a man's chest.
It was a man's like just ripped chest.
So you jerked off to a man's ripped chest.
I mean, I didn't come yet, but yeah.
But now you do when you think about it.
Well, now I only can watch men's pecs now.
Yeah, but like scrambling.
Yeah. Must be distorted.
Man, that's probably why our generation's so good at puzzles, right? We're just like, oh, like we're probably like, I see it. Like,
yep, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
They're so obsessed with puzzles. Every time I see someone like completing a puzzle, I'm like, great. Now you have to destroy it, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any theories?
Yeah.
I bet you have too many. I bet.
So I have this one. I have like a theory that like, and maybe you can kind of help me construct it a little bit better, but it's a solidified theory. But I have this theory. I think that sex is the only addiction that can go to infinity as long as you're alive. Like you can die. Like if you take too many drugs, you can OD. You can drink yourself into a fucking coma and die. You can.
That's interesting because I recently heard a comic basically do this set. Like
Wait,
not
really?
a set. No. Wait. Let me take it back. Kind of basically do this premise.
Oh, okay.
Of like it's not like damaging. Like when people say they have a porn addiction or a sex addiction, like I don't want to say this person's because I don't really, I can't even remember who it was. Like
right.
I bet you if I look back to the lineup, they were on my show. So I bet you if I look back to the lineup, I could tell you, but like I don't want to say it because I don't know them. You know, I like if I'm gonna say, I like to give props. You know, like go follow that comic or
sure.
But they basically said what you're saying. So what? So your theory is you can be addicted to sex and still be alive.
Well, I mean,
and you're like, I'm proof of it.
I guess you could. Well, yeah. Well, I guess that part is true, and that is part of it. I think the part, and maybe the theory is over, but I think the part
the theory just began.
I think the thing that I thought was interesting is, well, I think there's a second level to it, right? Because this started when I was doing my other podcast, and I was reading about all these Roman emperors and these Greek emperors and stuff. And I noticed something, like there was like a correlation between like what of like my experience of like watching porn and dating and being like promiscuous and single and like what these like Roman emperors did, but just like way different levels, right? Like these guys, like when they started off, it's just like meat and potatoes, right? You're just normal, missionary sex, right? But then as you like go down that rabbit hole, you have to keep like upping the ante. Like and the level keeps getting higher and higher. And I think that like if you are the type of person that is like willing to go down that rabbit hole, that rabbit hole can like never end. Now, it could get dangerous, right? If, you know, you're getting into like weird stuff like, I mean, some people are into like mutilation stuff. Like if you get into the darker realms of like BDSM. So like things could certainly go wrong depending upon what you're into. And then there's some
people that are into like vanilla missionary, you know?
Right.
Both of them freaks. both of them freaks.
Well, freaks in different ways. Because like the people who are like the Bible thumping, like I only do missionary and I do it hard and I do it fast and I'm making babies. Like that weird shit. But like the shit I'm thinking about is like, because these guys would like end up, they would have like a wife, then they'd have like, then they would like certain degrees of pedophilia were okay back then, and then they'd have like a eunuch lover. Do you know what a eunuch is? It's like a castrated person, who's like, they sort of are non-binary essentially. Like they don't really have like a gender really, and they would have like these concubine relationships with eunuchs and shit like that. And there was like a code even back then where like there was this one emperor, Caligula, who had like, he was kind of like an Epstein kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Like he had literally had an island with a grotto of just like children. And these parents like dish the kids over because they're like, of course I want my kid to be on an island with Caligula the Great. But he like lost his mind. He killed mad people. He was like a terrible emperor and also a raging pedophile. And so bad that like the Roman Empire was like, we have to do something about this basically.
Yeah.
But like a lot of those guys still banged kids, but it was different because they were like, yeah, I mean, like back in my masonry days, I slept with a boy here too, but
bring
I
it back,
moved on.
bring it back to your theory.
But but the point being is that like it like levels up so high. Like I've like stopped watching porn because I'm just like, now I'm watching stuff that afterwards I'm like, why did I just watch this? Like, I don't know, just like weird like fucking like gangbang porn and just like weird things that I'm like probably wouldn't normally be into if I wasn't exposed to it. But it's like the rabbit, like Missionaries done.
Yeah.
Like Missionaries over. So it's just this, it's like the only one that you can like experiment and for the most part, yeah, just like not OD on. Unless your thing is like, I guess maybe extreme sports also you can do that. What?
I can't even tell you what your theory. Like, I don't know if your theory is just more of like a justification. I don't know. If
No, it's more like I think I was just trying to like give you like how I got like why I've like came up like why I've like thought of that. It's just like because if you just don't watch porn and then you don't do all that stuff, then you don't even really know about it, and then you could just keep doing missionary till the day you die.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's your theory, and. Yeah, I guess. I don't know how to relate to it. I don't know.
Well,
how to
like I
relate
said,
to
I think you nailed it on the head. It's really just like, yeah, you can't like. It's like the only one for the most part you can't like OD on of all the addictions. I mean, even food, you could like really fucking like if you had safe sex.
You were addicted to music. Like if you were like addicted to music, like I think there's a lot of things you could be addicted to. If you were like addicted to playing video games,
right? Yeah.
Like all of it could lead to like dying. You know what I mean? Like if you were addicted to sex, you could like be into like choking and like choke yourself out.
Right.
Yeah.
But with video games, I mean,
well, video games like there's people who have died playing video games. They don't use the bathroom. Like they don't stop for water. Like for real, this one kid played for 71 hours and he died. It's not funny.
But that's,
I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't know why that I'm laughing because it's like so extreme, but like it's like so human of us to get addicted to something. We all think that it's like, no, this addiction is worse, or this addiction, and it's like, no, addiction is bad. Addiction, like
right.
Yeah,
I guess. Well, I think the video game one falls in that category too, because if all he has to do is get up and go to the bathroom, I mean, you could still be getting pretty weird with the video games.
Well, like drink water and like he was dehydrated and like I don't know.
Like if you just went to like if you're like so weird with the sex and then whatever your thing is like getting hung by hooks and then they hang you by hooks and then they're just like, all right, I'll see you on Monday, and then they just leave you there. I mean, you're gonna die.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I think your theory has been debuffed.
Yeah, debunked. Yeah.
Debuffed. You have another one?
Sure.
I googled like some theories, and like one of the and this is like what's really funny is that there's a theory called the game theory.
I've heard of this, but I don't remember what it is.
So it's basically the art of thinking strategically. Like that's it. The art of thinking. So like if you and I got locked up together and we were like, let's say I'm A, you're B. So this is what it is, right? I'm A, you're B. So if A stays silent but B betrays, then A will do 3 years and B will be free. So if I stay silent and you snitched and you betrayed me, right? Then you would do no time and I would do 3 years, right? Let's say that's what we're looking at. But if you stay silent and I betray you, then I'm free and you do 3 years, right? But if we both betray each other, then we do we both do like maximum sentence.
Right.
But if we both stay silent, then we do like 1 year.
I wish you were doing all this on a whiteboard, like we were like at halftime in a locker room, because that's how I was imagining.
That's how I'm doing it in my head. That's how I'm explaining it in my head. So that's the game theory. It's basically
it could
thinking. It's basically like thinking.
Well, right. So,
which is what's so funny about theory. It's like they're like, oh, and there's like a creator, like they say the person who created it is like John von something. Like there's a creator of the theory, and I'm like, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's where, oh man, this is where that shit gets so crazy, because like some theories are like started by like early philosophers, where it's just like some guy had to come up originally with like this style of thinking that at one point was not, like, people didn't think that way.
Right.
And some guy back when they like maybe didn't even have shoes yet, is just like, yeah.
Well,
you come up with all the potential outcomes for whatever this, I guess, a scenario or a challenge, and then you weigh your options and play play forward or go forward.
Well, when I read this, right, I like had time to think about it, and I was like, this is stupid idiot. How are you the creator of this? Like, oh, you're the creator of thinking strategically? Yeah, we're fucking right? But like the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it seems so obvious to us, because it's like as easy as like what fire is to us now, right? Where like back then you had to work to get fired, like a caveman.
Right.
Like they didn't have any thoughts, so thinking strategically was like not a thing.
Right.
So it's like I'm over here like being able to have a lighter to light my joint, like something not necessary.
Right.
And like I'm like, it was just kind of one of those moments where it's like, yeah, bitch, there were cavemen before. Like,
there are some people.
It's hard to think that I'm an evolution. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm still so dumb. I'm still like, I'm not perfect, and I'm an evolution. So it's like, damn, how bad were we?
Yo, the evolution's gotten so crazy. When you were breaking down fire, I realized that there are some people that wake up every day and can go whole years without ever seeing fire. They smoke a vape. They have an electric stove.
Yeah,
they get on the subway.
Yes.
The only time they see fire is if there's like a building on fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like a candle at a restaurant.
I was going to say they go to a restaurant.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't do fire stuff. It's 2021.
Yeah.
Electric.
And that's how we've evolved. Like, we're like people they were like, it was a skill you had to learn how to make fire on your own. And now people are like, fire?
Ew.
What are you living in 1920? What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? But it's like, that's how I felt. I felt like an asshole, because I was like, oh, you didn't create game theory. Like, we've been thinking, like, it's like natural to us to think strategically now, when it wasn't a thing. So that one was like really cool, and then that one was also cool because they were also like, and this is what I love about theory. They were like, this is about like strategically thinking, right? And like they gave me the example, right? And like this, and then they were also like, but it's good. It could be used for like poker, and I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm like, theory is everything. Theory is everything.
Well, I think those types of theories, those are like, they're such broad styles of thinking that it's like subgenres of music. There's like metal music, and then there's like sludge, black metal. So it's like that. It's like game theory. It's like poker game theory, prison breakout game theory, football game theory. Yeah.
Thinking about this can make your head explode. I'm like, I can't do this high. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
my
I can't
God.
do that high.
Read if you read like the Plato's Republic, like it's like Plato. Do you know what it's about? The Plato's Republic.
Have I read it? You said, or have I heard of it?
Either or.
I've never read it.
Okay.
I've never read a book.
Oh.
And I refuse to.
They have it on audiobook.
Yeah. Unless it comes out as a movie, I will not be watching it.
I don't know if they've made that into a movie.
Yeah,
That's a good
they made it
question.
into
They
a movie?
may have. Yeah, potentially.
Is it like very informational?
Well, it's really interesting because
Then it's not my genre.
if it's interesting, I don't want to know
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want entertainment.
Yeah, I want drama. Give me the drama.
Yeah.
Marlon does not want to get rid of Nemo.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, the point, it's just like he basically develops, it's a theoretical city. The Republic is this city, and it's Plato. It's basically him saying, like, in a nutshell, like, this is what the perfect, most efficient city would be if, like, basically people were just, if everybody woke up every day for the common good of, like, the city and the Republic, like, rather than being like, oh, I'm trying to get ahead.
For the best of their own.
Right.
Like if they did it like as like a society
Right.
instead of, I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Is that a theory?
Well, I don't know if, I think they're in their lives theories.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, I guess someone could argue that the Plato's Republic is maybe a theory, like, I don't know what it would go under, maybe a game theory of life. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like how to have a perfect city. And so it's like interesting, but like it's been said and argued many times, like it's not realistic, but when
Yeah.
you read it, you're like, fuck. And then your head fucking falls off. Like when you read this shit.
Yeah, you're just like wondering, like, what could we be? But it's like, do you think we would be happy? I think it's like one of those things where you have to choose, like, if you're doing everything for society, someone is going to benefit more than someone else.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how it's going to work.
Right.
So it's like, it's all about like what you want your mission to be in life, or if you just don't want a mission. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you're allowed to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I feel like we would be better as a whole, but then I feel like we would be like, without each other, we'd be hopeless. Like, we'd be boring. Like, if you took
Right.
that person out of that society and like brought them into a different society and was like, bloop, they'd be like,
Do whatever you want.
Or not even, now you're part of this society. They're like, I don't know who I am. Like,
Well,
who am I? I got to start all over. Like, I'm John. I'm usually the guy who, like, bakes bread for everyone. Like, who am I here? Like, there's, like, you got to have another.
The fucking Amish do that. You know the Amish do that? They do when, like, they are, like, it's like they're, instead of, like, them becoming a man or a woman, they give them this opportunity. They'll send them all out in a van,
Yeah.
and they're like, Jebediah, Claire, whatever, Beth, the 5, the 6 of you are going to go out into the real world for a week. Here's some money we scrounged together, and you will go out into the world. You will see what it is like, and then you make a decision. Do you want to be an Amish, or do you want to be one of them? And they usually go and freak the fuck out. And they stay Amish.
You give them a week, too, right?
I think most of them stay Amish.
I can go like 3 weeks with my life being a mess. You know what I mean? Like, that's nothing. Like, even 1 week, of course. Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. I only know about it because sometimes you'd see them.
That's like a second of walking. That's like, if you try your first time to walk, you were like, I can't do it, man. You know?
Right.
Like, walking's not for me. You know? Like, you can't do that. That's like not the real world. But it's like, at least they give them a choice. Like, but imagine if we did like the Plato thing, and it's like, it sounds like a good thing. It sounds like, oh, we should do that. Our society would be better. You know, like back in the days, like a lot of tribals, and I think they do it now too. They would like raise kids like as their own.
Right.
Like everyone, like that kid is everyone's kid.
Not polyamorous, but polyamory, whatever the original science word for it. But yeah, the kid's the community's kid.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
we could do that, but look how little they evolve.
Well, right. When
You know what I mean? Like, look how little they evolve as like, yeah, everyone's giving 100%, but they're giving 100% to like 1,000 people, you know? And that's like
Right.
a lot. That's
Right.
not like, you have no percent for yourself.
I would bet that there aren't even communities that are 1,000 people that still live that way.
Yeah.
I bet they don't even get 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you when I went to, speaking of that, we visited a Maasai tribe when I went to Africa with my family. And
I think you might have mentioned
when
that.
we went, they, kids everywhere, that some of the kids had never even seen white people before. Like my brother
Yeah.
walked up and was like,
How lucky are
"Hi,"
they?
to the kid. Oh yeah, right. I know, right?
How lucky are they?
Well, some of the little kids like cried because like Sean was trying to say hi to them, and they're like, "What the fuck is that? Who is this?
They're
Why
like, it's
is
the
he-"
Holy
Yeah, what is going on?
And your brother's like, what's up, bitch?
Hey, come here.
he's like unlimited mimosas, like brunch.
I
don't know why
with
Sean
you.
doesn't even talk like that.
Yeah. I mean, he fucks with mimosas.
I'm so homophobic. My wrist was flaring.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do him up for the show.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he was like going, and then when the guys saw my sister, and she was like, I think she was like 17 or 18 at the time, they were trying to barter with my dad. They were like, I'll give you like a goat for her. And like they were like 3 cattle for her. And the guy who was like our guide, he was like a Maasai warrior, and he's like, he could speak English. Like he went to school in they got money together, and he went to school in whatever, it doesn't matter. I can't think of the capital city there. But he went there, Nairobi. In Nairobi, and came back. So he like does the tours now, and that's where he's from. And he would translate for my dad. He'd be like, he's like, looked at my dad. He's like, they are offering 2 cattle for her. Like, and he's like, that's a lot where we're from.
He's like saying it like it's a fucking like a good thing to your dad.
Yeah.
He's like, think about it.
Well, it's also custom too. And my dad wasn't mad. My dad was like, no, it's okay. Like, it's all right. Like, and I got the sense that like they probably knew that he wasn't going to do it, but still they were also like,
you got to shoot your shot.
And they're like, yo, I want this blonde girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were offering it all up. Yeah, it was
bro,
crazy.
they are. This is why, like, you see, this is why, like, people from New York, like, hood people from New York can't travel. My brothers would beat them up. Like, my brothers would beat them up. Like, my father would wash them. Like, what do you mean? Like, it is so funny. Like, cause like, you guys are just like, oh, we understand. Like, white people are like,
yeah.
They they can be mild tempered.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say my family is not mild tempered, especially like. So it's so funny. Like you and Sean were probably like, "That's good. Like we should get rid of Aaron."
We were doing that the entire time. We were like, "Dad, come on!" Like, I think also Erin kind of liked it a little bit. She's like, 2 cattle.
She's like 2. I mean, that's a lot, man. You got to, you got to take it where you can get it, Erin.
Yeah.
Erin should go back.
Oh, she'd be like the queen.
Yeah.
Or just owned by someone. But either way, he's got to take care of her. It's part of the community now.
Yeah, it's like those people have their beliefs, and it's like, you can be offended all you want, but it's how they grow up.
Right. Well, to your point, when you said the thing earlier about like, would you be happy? I was going to say, I think that is also a very interesting question, right? Because obviously happiness is subjective, but it's also like
and impossible.
Yeah. But like when you make trade-offs, like I think you like find like oddly like you can find like happiness in like different dynamics that you probably didn't know existed. Now, granted, if like if we grew up in the Republic, we would only know one style of happiness and how to get there. Versus like if tomorrow we woke up and they're like, guess what? It's Plato's Republic now. That's the world we're in. We would be miserable.
Well, it's kind of one of those things where you ask yourself, right? Is it like having too many options on TV, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, can you just get fulfillment and like feel like whole and as a person that matters in this world when you're a part of this society?
Right.
But what happens when this society is no longer?
Right.
Right? It's like, would you be empty? Like, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah. Because if you
now that I like mention it more, it sounds like being a mom. It sounds like the job of a mother. Like,
wait, what is the job of a mother?
Like Plato's theory is like what a mom does for for the whole family, where she like puts herself, she's like building the society,
right?
And then like gets fulfillment out of doing like laundry. Like you go back home, they want to do your laundry. You know what I'm saying? They love that shit. They complain about it, but they love it. It's kind of like that. Like that's Plato's theory, is for everyone to be a mother. I'm fucking with it. That sounds great.
It's a whole fucking cat. Everyone's putting
I
their
have to
place
look real
in
quick. Does that say 50?
Oh man.
You and I can fucking
yeah. I didn't even like get to the shit we talk about. Like half the shit we talked about before, I'm like, where? At some point, I was like, what are we getting into right now? Why am I like afraid of like talking about like whatever. We went off the rails.
Yeah, I liked it.
No, I know. It's just like insane. It's like
just
insane.
like, holy shit. I was like, I know I'm dyslexic, but like that, I ain't dyslexic like that. But yeah, just interesting shit. I mean,
I have a theory that's a little on the. I don't think it will be as heavy of a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a theory that any people, I'll only speak for men because I don't go in women's bathrooms, but any men who purposefully pee on the toilet seat are truly do not care about the common good of man and are probably involved in illegal or illicit activities.
Let me explain something to you, okay? Let me explain something to you. I love when men are like, I don't know about women's bathroom. Women's bathroom are the most disgusting bathrooms ever. All right? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care, okay?
She doesn't care.
I worked in a fucking restaurant for almost 10 years, and every single night, the worst bathroom is the female's bathroom, which is insane. And I'm not trying to put like
Women down,
or not even women down. Like I'm not
or prop men up.
I mean, neither of those things. Definitely prop men up, but I'm not like trying to. I'm not trying to be like a stereotypical, right? I'm not trying to say like women are supposed to be clean, right? Like, I mean, we've all come, like, I don't do my bed, okay? I don't make my bed because then I have to unmake it to get in it, right? Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not setting myself up for double the work. I'm not doing it. Why make my bed if I'm going to get back in it, okay?
Right.
But, so I'm not I'm not trying to say like, oh, women should be clean. But I'm like, yo, like, don't y'all clean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is disgusting. Why is there tampons on the floor? Fucking tissues everywhere. Like, a woman's bathroom is gross. It's gross.
Yeah.
So, and I agree with you. That theory, we're gonna call it the Chris theory. We're gonna call it the disgusting Chris theory.
The disgusting Chris theory. Yeah.
The pee-pee theory.
Because to me, like
the pee-pee theory, the dirty pee-pee theory.
The dirty pee-pee theory. It is. That is what it's called. Because on the most raw level, right?
Yeah.
Fuck what your political views are. Fuck
Yes.
what you do in your own time. I don't care.
Who you're into, what you're into.
It doesn't fucking matter. We all have to use this fucking public bathroom, and you are just gonna disrespect it. Like, and again, I'm saying people who do this shit on purpose.
Yeah.
Like some people who have like mental illness or blind or whatever.
And
I get it.
sometimes it
Like,
happens. Sometimes you go, oop, it went to the left. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. Right?
Right. And but honestly, unless the bathroom is already just completely thrashed and trashed, if the bathroom's clean and I got a little whoops, I'll fucking
Same.
quick.
Same. It's mine. I'm grabbing a tissue.
Right.
He's talking. He'll clean it.
Yeah.
For those of you that listen.
Oh yeah, sorry, I should have
He's going,
verbally said that.
blip.
Yeah.
He said he'll lick it off.
Yeah.
He said he said he licks off his
That's
piss.
how far my proclivities have gotten.
Yeah. That's how committed he is to living in Plato society.
Yeah.
Cleaning up the bathroom
Yeah.
one lick at a time.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Those people, and remember when I said you got to go out your way to be disrespectful.
Yes.
Remember that. Remember that theory, okay? Remember it.
Yeah.
You have to go out your way because, like, you know, it's happened to us where you slip up. You're like, oh shit, I peed on the seat. It went on the seat. You clean it up. But if you're just like, I don't give a fuck, or tissue, you see tissue, like, also like a lot of tissue gets stuck on girls as they're leaving on their feet. They'll take it off their shoe and throw it on the floor. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Yeah. It's fucking insane. I've walked into
Or
like
leaving like rolled up pads and tissue like by the tissue dispenser.
Yeah, the little holder thing. Yeah.
The tissue holder.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, so you know someone else has to grab that. So you don't care. Like, you don't want to touch your own pussy juice, but I got to touch your pussy juice. So you don't care. That's how disrespectful we are. Then I piss all over the bathroom.
And then I fucking spray the walls like a skunk. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I've even done like, I'll even admit, like, my fucking friends used to do dumb shit. Like, if we were on like a road trip and I had to take a shit real bad, and there was only one bathroom at like the gas station or like at a Quickie Mart, we would do this thing where we'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go first. I won't flush. Then you go. You don't flush. And then you go. You don't flush. And then we'd like have this huge, massive shit in there.
This shit baby. I am shit, baby.
Yeah.
And one day that shit is gonna like grow up and it's gonna multiply and it's gonna be like, remember me, Dad?
Father.
You loved me, yeah.
Father.
I am a hurt man.
His teeth are corn.
Yeah. His fingernails are like cigarette butts. You don't know why.
Oh,
you don't know why?
yeah. It's like, who ate that? Yeah. Sick. I hope that was in the toilet before.
You're like, John, that's you? That's
Yeah,
you?
yeah. Yeah, I love that shit. No pun intended. Yeah, it just drives me nuts. And I've walked into like a stall where like I had to take a shit and like, you know, you go to the first stall and it's like, okay, someone's in there. You go to the next stall. This is like at a rest stop. I go to the next stall. A guy comes out and it's like just piss. Like it's like clear that he just was like, fuck it. And just pissed all over like the toilet, all over the toilet seat. And I'm like, what the fuck? And at first I give him benefit of the doubt because I'm like, maybe it was all pissy before he got in there. But then I go to the next stall and it's pristinely clean. I'm like, no, this place just got clean and this dude just pissed all over it. It's the only time I want to like physically confront someone.
You go outside, you grab him. He's like, rape!
Hey, yeah.
You're like, no.
No, fuck.
Plato Theory.
You know, it's the dirty pee-pee theory, bro, okay? I just don't think you care about society as a whole, and that's the problem.
And you got to go out your way to disrespect. I'm going to call my friend Ashlynn.
Yeah,
real
she
quick.
knows.
Yeah.
She knows. She's a dream guru. You'll find out, you fucking dick.
Yeah. I hate people like that. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I hate anyone who like dirties anything like and goes out their way to do it. Like I'm like, you drop something, that's okay, but like when you go out your way, I'm just like, you don't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just don't care.
Right. Yeah.
And something about that just doesn't sit well.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't. Maybe it's because we care too much, you know?
Well, you remember we were talking about how like...
And I always feel like a fucking grandma. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm wrong. That's what I hate about it. I feel like I'm wrong. Like, oh, you're such a fucking old bat. You know? Like, when I complain about things, I'm like, you're an old bat. You're just complaining.
Yeah.
But it's being gross shit.
I know. I know. I fucking hate it. My dad grew up in Hoboken. My parents told me that they had to, like, learn... Like, they grew up at a time where, like, littering wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Like, my dad told me that, like, my mom told me that, like, when they were growing up, they would go into the fucking city, like, yeah, get a pretzel, get a hot dog, eat the hot dog, get a pretzel, yeah, just chuck it. Who gives a shit? It didn't, like, it wasn't, like...
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, just...
I'm sorry, but, like... That's like that. I know it's gross, but it sounds like amazing, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like it's like ignorance is bliss.
Right. Yeah. This was
That's
like
a theory.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
It is a theory,
It
right?
is.
I don't know.
Everything's a theory.
Yeah.
Everything's
It's a sentence, it's a
theory.
thought, it's a theory.
Yeah.
But ignorance is bliss. So
Right.
like to do it back then, I bet you it felt like guiltless, but like you do it now.
No guilt. You didn't even think you were doing anything wrong. This is back like in like when the food pyramid with bread was at the top of it. You know what I mean? Where you're like, eat your pasta, and like now everyone's got a gluten
Make sure
allergy.
you carb up. And now
It's bread, meat, ice cream, and vegetables.
everyone's stomach is fucked up now.
Yeah.
Like our sewer system is just backed up.
Oh, so
Yeah.
gross. Yeah. Do you have a would you rather?
I don't have a would you rather, but I was gonna say something about the ignorance is bliss. Oh, I can't wait for that rubber band to pop back to the being okay to litter.
Back to littering?
Yeah, I bet you it's when we get like flying cars and we could just like there's gonna be like an
The
underground.
lower level people. It's gonna turn into Plato's Republic because he's got a hierarchy system.
No, I wasn't even. You're disgusting. You're an animal. The white man in you is the worst person I know. Not throwing like at the people, like you just hit them with your ice
they're
cream.
just
It's
down
okay.
there,
It's
yeah.
okay. It's the Plato theory. No, but I'm like, there's like a huge vacuum. You know what I mean? Like it's okay.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and it's just like it falls in, but it also is like sucking. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
wait
yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I think that's when it would happen. Like littering being good is like we'll be having flying cars. There'll be vacuums. But then, of course, we have to go back, and it'll be bad because the vacuums are people too.
Right. The vacuums identify as people, and now there's a whole thing, and we don't want to do unions.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So now we can't litter anymore.
Yeah,
you know. But I hope I'm alive for it.
Oh, I would love to see it all fall apart and rebuild.
Do you have a theory? I mean, do you have a would you
theory?
rather?
I got many theories. I'll keep going, baby.
I got many thoughts.
I got a whole book of theories.
I got many thoughts. The UFO video.
Yeah. I have one about MSG.
Anger issues, meditation.
I have one correlating MSG to like the Chinese crisis right now that we have going on.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Would you rather? I don't have one, but I can
All right.
come up with one. Okay.
I'm tired of doing them. You know,
right.
I'm carrying this show single-handedly.
Okay. Would you rather have a sex addiction or tomorrow you have to be an Amish person? But when I say sex addiction, I mean like go all the way. Like no turning back. Like it will like hurt parts of your life. But you'll sustain. It won't like affect your like comedy career that much.
Okay. All right. This one's hard.
I know. I know.
Because this is like it's like the same thing but an opposite. Like it's like the opposite. Not evils. I don't want to call them evil because they're not evil. But it's it's like the same thing but totally different. Right. So it's so hard.
Yeah.
All right. One, two, three. Sex addiction.
Yeah.
No fucking way I'm gonna be Amish.
'Cause at least,
no
like,
way I'm
yeah.
gonna be straight.
Right.
No way I'm gonna wear fucking those ugly ass dresses all the time.
Right.
Like I don't even care about like what they practice.
Right.
I care about fashion.
Right.
And being able to eat pussy.
Right.
Like that's my worry in life.
Yeah.
That's where I'm trying to find my happiness.
I just chose sex addiction because at least if I
Because you already have it. No.
well, I already have I already have one. And if I become Amish, I won't be able to see Carol and Jude.
Maybe they want you to become Amish.
With a sex addiction, I can still see my family.
Awkwardly, but I see them.
Yeah. They're like, why do you have holes all over your body? Oh, it's called spearing.
You're like, I love holes, Mom.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it.
All right. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, bye.